Paige Beckers has not had as much media attention as girls like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink as of late, but Paige Beckers, to a lot of her fans, is a better player than Caitlin Clark. Now, that's not what this video is about, and that could be a video for another day, but today what we're going to be doing is taking a deep look into the game of Paige Beckers, and I'm going to be telling you guys why I think she could really be a great WNBA player. When you look up her position on Google, it'll actually say point guard, but if you watch any of her games last year, she's actually more of a forward. She likes playing off ball, and ever since her freshman year, her assists per game have just went down. I think in her first year, she averaged around 5.7 assists per game, and you know what, as we've gone on, it's just gone down and down. Right now, she's at her lowest has been since in college at 3.7 assists per game, so she's not a playmaker. She's a bit different than Caitlin Clark in the way she plays. She likes to play off ball. She's more of a forward, but she doesn't have the size of a forward. She's very frail, so you know what, that is something to think about as she comes into the WNBA. Despite Paige's physical makeup, I think she can go very far in the WNBA. I think it starts with her mentality. She has the right mentality. She's always looking to get better. She's always critiquing her game, and that's kind of something we see with Caitlin Clark a little bit, so I really like to see that from Paige Beckers. For two, I think she also has the ability to play in the flow of the game, and she knows how to win. She sees the floor in the correct way. We're going to go over some of that today, and you know what, all in all, she can shoot the basketball, and if you can shoot the basketball, you can go very far. She has a mid-range game, which is really great, and yeah, she can score at a very high rate. She can score at all three levels, whether it's a three-point shot, the mid-range shot, in the paint. She's a very versatile player when it comes to scoring. She can see the floor. She can play make if she's put in that role. So you know what, let's stop rambling. Let's go ahead and get into this film. Let's break down her game. She played against USC. This is her second to last game she played. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of this game. Now, this first play was actually Paige's first score of the game, and notice how she sees an opening and she cuts back door and she finds the ball. Easy layup for Paige Beckers. I like the fact that she's seeing the floor like this because this is something you need in the WNBA. If you've watched any of my videos on the Indiana Fever, you know some of these players literally just do not cut back door. They just do not see the floor in the way a girl like Caitlin Clark sees the floor, and it's very frustrating. And I'm not saying Paige Beckers has the vision of Caitlin Clark, but I'm saying she saw the opening and she cut, and that's just, you know, seeing something and then taking action. It's just, you know, it might seem little to you, but it's big to me because you would be surprised. I'm just saying you'd be really surprised with some of these players. So I like this recognition, and you'll notice this is Paige playing off ball. She likes playing off ball. She's not a girl that's always going to have the ball in her hand. She's not going to run a pick and roll with the big man like Caitlin Clark. She's going to play off ball. Even though she's small and frail, from what I've seen from Paige Beckers, I would actually give her an assessment as a shooting guard. I think you can put her next to a guard that really likes to pass, and she can still play guard and still take the ball and do something with it every once in a while, but I think she likes scoring more than she likes playmaking. Before we go on to the next play of the game, one thing to note is that for the first 6 or 7 minutes of this game, Paige only had 2 points, and it's because the defense was playing really hard defense on her, and she was just giving the ball up and just playing off ball, setting off ball screens, and just allowing her teammates to do the work. They actually were down though in that period where she wasn't taking command of the ball, so I really don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just one thing to note. Now check out this next play for Paige Beckers. She's just pushing the pace in transition, and this is what she likes to do. She takes it into her defender, rams into her, easy layup for her, and you know what, that is strength. And you know what, I talked about it earlier. She's only 140 pounds. She's pretty frail. And so, you know what, you're kind of concerned because when she gets to the WNBA, you're like, okay, is she going to be able to do these to those players? Because they definitely are stronger and it's not the same. We've seen Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and almost in our first few games to get pushed around a little bit. And you have to, you know, see that the physicality in the W is a lot different than it is in college. It is the truth. Will Paige be able to withstand that is the question. I think she probably will. If you look at that defender, she's not very small. You know what? Paige Beckers moves her out of the way pretty easily, and she just goes up and over that defender. I think a lot of the time WNBA players miss layups not because of the physicality, but because they're not going up with the ball, straight up with it. Paige goes straight up with the ball, and she's not afraid of contact here. I like to see her not dodging contact but accepting it, because you know what, if they foul you, you get 2 free throws anyway. Accept the contact. So I think she actually might be able to replicate this in the WNBA, but I would say she needs to put on a few pounds. Now check out this play for Paige Beckers. Look, she gets the ball off a slip up by the other team. She pushes the pace, and notice how she gets all the way downhill and she finds her big man wide open in that paint. That is a really great pass, and that is a point guard kind of play. Look, if she can control the tempo, because I think she did control the tempo here because she didn't just go extremely fast. She almost slowed it down a little bit, but then kept it going at a high speed. I think she just kind of saw what she wanted there. She knew she wanted to get downhill. She saw her big man just creeping in, and she decided that if they collapsed on her, she was going going to feed it to her big man. I like this play. It shows that she has playmaking abilities. And I think, you know what? If she's put in the right position, she might be able to go and be a 6 assists per game kind of player. She's definitely more of a scorer than a playmaker, but I think she can play make. Now check out this next play. This is where Paige is at her best. I told you guys she likes scoring. This is her cutting off ball. She understands that there's an opening and she cuts off ball. Look, man, if you want to play in the WNBA and you don't want to have the ball in your hands, you have to have the IQ of a girl like Paige Beckers. This is why I think she's going to be really good, because she sees the opening and she cuts and puts herself in the position to where if her point guard finds her open, she's going to be able to catch it. Look, man, you'll be so surprised, man. There's a whole lot of WNBA players today that don't cut when there's wide open lanes. They don't know when to set a screen and when to roll off the screen. Look, man, a lot of these girls don't even know how to set a screen. I've made a video on it before. Go check it out if you haven't seen it, man. I like to see Paige Beckers cutting back door, finding openings, and capitalizing on the opportunities. If you want to play off ball, do it right. Now check out this next play. Look, Paige is not the most athletic player, but she gets that block there. She has long arms. She has about a 6-foot wingspan, and I like to see her using her athleticism and size to get some steals and some blocks. You know what? She actually was guarding Juju Watkins a lot in this game, and she held her own. I think Paige Bueckers can be a really good defender because she gives effort on that side of the basketball. And you know what, man? As long as you make up for it on the other side of the court, you don't have to be the best defender. It's always a plus when an offensive player plays a little bit of good defense. Now check out this next play. I like this little action with Paige Beckers and Aaliyah Edwards. Paige comes off in that corner. This is a very contested three-point shot. She drills it. Look, Paige Beckers can shoot that three ball. She doesn't shoot it as much as you'll see Caitlin Clark shoot it, but she can shoot, and that is something that you can take to the WNBA, and that just makes you a good player. That just makes you a value player. Now check out this next play. Paige is pushing the pace in transition. She finds her teammate cutting. It's a simple pass, but she finds her. Look, she can play a little bit of point guard. I don't think she's, not able to play point guard. I think she does prefer scoring. I think she likes playing off ball more, but I'm just showing these plays because she does have a bit of vision. In this game, she actually had 6 assists. That's pretty good for Paige. If you think about it, assists in the WNBA are not going to be the same as they are in the NBA. If you average around 6 assists in the WNBA, that's like averaging 9 assists in the NBA, because the league leader in assists in the WNBA is Caitlin Clark, and she's averaging about 8 a game. And if you look at the league leader in the NBA for assists, it's going to be like Tyrese Halliburton. What he's averaging, like 11, 12 assists per game. There's a dramatic difference. It's obviously because, in the NBA, the games are longer. There's more possessions because they play faster, things like that. So, if you can average, 6 assists per game, that's pretty good for a point guard. Now, check out this next play. Look, that is a very contested mid-range shot, but she drills it. She's playing off ball. She's a scorer. She can score at a lot of different levels, whether in the paint, at the three-point line, in that mid-range game is really pure. I like that. She's using her height to rise up over her defender. That's a big-time shot. Look, man, if y'all don't see the vision, I see the vision. Look, those mid-range shots are really, really open in the WNBA. They're always going to leave those mid-range shots, so you got to capitalize on the opportunities, and I think Paige can do it. Now, check out this next play. Paige Beckers gets a big-time steal there. She has IQ. She has defensive IQ as well, and she's not going to push the pace. She's going to slow it down. She's not like Caitlin Clark. She likes slowing it down, and then she gives the ball up. She comes off ball, and notice how she hits this big-time three-point shot. That is a contested three-point shot. What did I tell you about that three-point shot? That three-point shot translates to the WNBA, especially if you like playing off ball. It's difficult when you play, with the pick and roll. The ball's always in your hands for Caitlin Clark. But with Paige, she's going to get a lot of open looks, especially if she plays with a point guard that, knows how to pass the ball a little bit. She's going to be able to hit these threes. These are the shots she wants to shoot. She's going to get them. And that one's contested. That is a contested shot. Don't sleep on her. Because we're talking about the next generation, and we're talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Juju Watkins and Cameron Brink. They're the next generation. Don't leave Paige out of there. She's the next generation too. Now check out this next play. Paige actually doesn't make the shot, but I want you to see the shot she likes to shoot. She likes to shoot that mid-range shot. She comes off ball. She bricks it, but this is the kind of shot she likes to shoot. And these are the kind of shots that I think are going to be very open in the WNBA. I think this is where she's going to eat in the W. I think that mid-range game can be where she flourishes. Now check out this next play. Paige Beckers pushes the pace off a rebound, and look, she finds the wide open player on that wing, and that's an assist for Paige. Look, she's running the show. She doesn't look too bad. I know that's a very easy assist, but she can make some tougher passes, and we'll get to them in a second. I just want to say that Paige can play a little bit of point guard. If that is what she's called upon to do, I think she can do it. I haven't seen a whole lot of her running a pick and roll. I didn't see a lot of her running a pick and roll with Aaliyah Edwards, especially in this game. But I think she could probably run a pick and roll, especially since she has that mid-range game. I think we could see a little bit of Paige Beckers playing point guard. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This doesn't really lead to anything, but just look at this pass by Paige. Look at that pass. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say she's a, amazing playmaker, but she does show glimpses of being able to run the show. I think that is an amazing pass. It's a very difficult pass. We're not just going to write that off, man. She can play a little bit of point guard if you let her. I'm just saying, I don't know exactly what her role is going to be, for next year with UConn. But I think if they put the ball in her hands a little bit more and they experiment with it a little bit, it might not end off bad. I think she can play with the ball in her hands a whole lot. Now check out this next play. That 5'11 wingspan is coming in clutch for Paige Beckers, big time still. Look, she pushes the pace, and that is a very tough finish. That's a very tough finish. Like I say, layups is where you're going to thrive in the WNBA. And she can make layups, and she's a great finisher around the rim. That is her game. She has size. She's not small. She has size for a point guard. If you're going to put her at point guard or shooting guard, she's pretty tall. I think Paige Beckers can do really well in the WNBA. Check out this next play for Paige. Look, she's playing off ball, coming off a screen, and that mid-range shot is open. She hits it. That's a fadeaway shot. She got skill with that mid-range game, man. That is going to be her game. I literally can call it. Once she gets into the WNBA next year, after, the NCAA season wraps up and she gets drafted, I'm telling you, I think that's where she's going to thrive. By this time next season in the WNBA, I think we're going to be looking at Paige Beckers' game and we're going to say, hey, her mid-range shot is what's taking her far. I think that mid-range game is where she can really thrive, and I like the fact that she has that. Now check out this next play. Paige Beckers is playing off ball. She comes off, catches it, big-time three-point shot. The defender's right there. Defender's in her face. That is not a lot of open space. She just drills it. She's a great three-point shooter. I think her game almost reminds me a bit of Sabrina Ionescu when it comes to playing off ball, shooting those three-point shots. She's not like Caitlin Clark in the sense that she's going to shoot off the dribble, but she can still shoot it from deep, and she can make big-time shots. I like this part of Paige Beckers' game. I like the three-point shooting, the mid-range shooting. The finishing is cool, but I think the shooting is what's going to take her far, especially that mid-range shot. Now check out this last and final play I'll show. Notice how Paige Beckers is able to weave through the defense. She's slithery. She gets to her spot. Big-time shot. I think she is a really great player when it comes to scoring. She can score at all three levels, in that paint, that mid-range shot, or that three-point shot. So look, Paige Beckers looks like a really good player from what I'm looking at, and I think she can come into the WNBA and be really good. One thing I would say that she needs to do is put on a little bit more muscle. I'm not saying that she needs to put on weight, in a negative way or in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying for basketball purposes, she should put on a few pounds when it comes down to it. I think she can keep working on that mid-range shot. Definitely keep working on that mid-range shot. Work on her playmaking. I would like to see her in more positions next year where she's playing, with a two-man game with the big man. I know there's going to be no more Leah Edwards on UConn, but I would like to see a lot of pick and rolls with Paige Beckers and whatever big man they have. And I just like to see that. I like to see her in that playmaking role with the ball in her hands because she is 6 feet. She's 6 feet. She's the size of a point guard, or at least she's the size of Caitlin Clark. She's taller and bigger than a Kelsey Mitchell or Erica Wheeler, but she is pretty small and she's pretty frail. So I think her having the ball in her hands might be to her advantage. I think some of her plays, where she comes off screens and gets downhill, those might be cut off in the WNBA. So a lot of her openings might be around that mid-range shot. So I guess if she just keeps working on that, she might be fine. Either way, I like the game that I'm seeing from Paige Beckers. And I want you guys to let me know. You guys want me to do a video like this on Juju Watkins? I could do that if you guys want it. And also, guys, go follow my Twitter. I'm going to be on Twitter from now on. So go follow my Twitter. We're going to be talking on Twitter. I'm going to be doing some Twitter spaces soon. I've had some people reach out to me and be like, yo, let's do some Twitter spaces, fever content. So look, we're going to do that. So go follow me on Twitter. We're going to be on there from now on. I'm going to start tweeting and stuff. Anyway, I'm done with this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. Peace out.